I'll try to explain this without cursing, but the black that came out from that looked like it had grown hair. Not hair. Fucking spines. I recently finished reading the book John Dies at the End by David Wong, which is a pseudonym for Jason Pargin. Pargin. Hang on a second. Okay, Jason himself made a Facebook post clarifying the pronunciation for his last name. He says, I know it's easy to mispronounce a name if you've only seen it in text, but for the last time, the G in Pargin is pronounced the same as the G in GIF. Perfect. Okay, so now that that's cleared up, John Dies at the End was an absolute thrill to read. I don't remember how I first heard about it. Just one day I logged into my Apple Books and it was in my TBR list. And I said, what the heck, we'll give this a try. And I was hooked as soon as I started the foreword. Not even the story, just the foreword. Pargin's humor style struck a chord, and I found it almost impossible to put the book down. It's such a perfect blend of irreverence, gore, and brain rot that would have me busting a gut laughing on one page, and then literally the very next page, I'd be curling my feet up underneath me because it was so terrifying. And what's crazy about this book is that it originally started out as a web series. Yep, Pargin initially released it bit by bit online for free for readers to enjoy. He started that in 2001 and had an edited manuscript by 2004, but it was still just online for free. Until 2007, when he was approached by a small horror publishing company who said that they could put out a paper copy for him. And so in 2007, the first paperback was printed. 2008 brought the removal of the story from online, and then 2009, a different publishing company decided that they could do a hardcover for him. And so he wrote some new material and put the book out there. Now, the book's origin as a web series is definitely very evident, especially in the earlier parts of the book. But I think that's part of the charm of the story. Rather than a traditional tight story that you'll typically find with novels, this story, it rambles a bit. It'll backtrack every once in a while. It self-corrects as the narrator literally admits that not every single thing in the story is true. Not to mention that John... Never mind. But yeah. Since John Dies at the End was published back in 2007 and then again in 2009, Pargin has written 3 sequels to the book. Yeah, what started out as just a internet hobby of sorts has turned into a full-fledged series. I'm currently halfway through the second book in the series. This book is full of spiders. And while the writing style is definitely tighter, it still has that crass rawness that made me fall in love with the story with my first tumble down the soy sauce rabbit hole. Oh, I didn't mention soy sauce yet before, right? That's that black that was coming out of the... You know what? How about you just go and check it out for yourself? But for now, I want to leave you with an excerpt from the first chapter that I found really entertaining, so I thought I'd share it with you. I picked the candle off the counter and headed back to the bedroom. I stepped in, the candle casting an uneven halo of light around me, rustling the shadows aside. I moved toward the bed and saw meat. Dozens of the wrapped and now partially unwrapped hunks from the freezer, laying neatly on the floor next to the bed in an almost ceremonial fashion. The objects arranged in the rough shape of a man. I moved the light toward the head area, where I found a frozen turkey, still in the butterball wrapper. Under it, wedged between turkey and torso, was the dismembered deer tongue, flapping around of its own accord. That was different. I jumped back as the turkey, the tongue, and a slab of ribs levitated off the floor, The man-shaped arrangement of meat rose up, as if functioning as one body. It pushed itself up on 2 arms made of game hens and country bacon, planting 2 hands with sausage-link fingers on the floor. The phrase, sodomized by a bratwurst poltergeist, suddenly flew through my mind. Finally, it stood fully upright, looking like the mascot for a butcher shop whose profits went entirely to support the owner's acid habit.